Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Ramesh Chandraji, Member Niti Ayog, Honorable H.S. Gupta Sir, the former Director IRI and former Director General of Board Institute, Dr. Suresh, delegates on the dais and off the dais. I have to cover the two aspects. One is regarding the food applications of soya, and another is the research and development. We already have spoken about the value of the soya protein. Just I would like to mention that in ICAR, we are the part of oilseed division. So mainly soybean is considered in this country as an oilseed crop. And that is also one of the reasons that why the utilization of protein part remained neglected. If you look the importance of this soybean, the soybean botanically belongs to the leguminaceae family. And having the highest content of the protein, you see any other leguminous crop where the protein content is hardly 20 to 24%. Despite of that, soybean contains almost 40% of the protein, and that is also of the very high quality protein. So many countries, you see the 113 countries actually produce the soybean, though only 5 countries produce 89% of that. India, in acreage, we are 4th. In production, we are 5th. But due to low productivity, only hardly 11 quintals per hectare, so that has been virtually a reason that why farmers are facing presently taking the soybean as a challenge that doesn't found the remunerative as the other crops are here. The other aspect is also I would like to mention that in acreage, soybean is 3rd after rice and wheat. Earlier the cotton was at 4th place, but now the soybean has taken that much. So this shows that how the adaptation of this crop has translated the largest area, not only in the oilseed crops, but even the crops like cotton. Now the maize is coming up certainly, but maize is, at present have hardly 10 million, and soybean is being grown at 13 million hectare acreage. The nutritionally, if you look, we have in the soybean almost 40% protein, 20% oil, but mainly since the extraction of the oil remained, but the impetus was actually due to the export value of de-oiled cake. That is the premium product. Then comes the oil, then come the other food products. But we have to change this scenario. How to make this protein more utilizable so that give the importance to the crop and enhances the value of our products. A number of applications, if you see, the human food products, so many products are being prepared, but the most part, globally we see the 65% of the soybean goes as an animal feed. And in India, almost 93% were telling that only 12% goes, but we have only 7% of this soya is directly being used for the human food. Medicinal products and number of saponins, lecithin on a very large scale not only is being produced, but also being exported from the India. And then many other industrial products are being prepared. But the question is whether we really stand competitive globally to export these products. And here the role of industry comes. As a research institution, we are working on the different aspects that how to develop product-specific variety, which I will be dealing in the later portion of this presentation. The question regarding why soybean for food, a lot already have been spoken about this, that this is the best protein and also contains the essential amino acids like methionine, which are the sulfur-containing amino acids. There are so many other advantages, including the vitamins and mineral compositions and bioactive compounds. The other properties actually like the emulsification, gelation, water and oil binding properties, flavor enhancement, that makes the soya products high in demand to be utilized in the development of the different kind of food products. Uh, if you look the use of the soya protein in the different kind of products, not only for the modern markets, but the traditionally also like tofu, soya milk, tempeh, these are the already being consumed in the many parts of the country, particularly in the Himalayan states. Natto and soya sauce, we are exporting also in the a small quantity of the soya sauce. And the other aspects also, if you see the soya filler, in the morning I was discussing with the chairman that he started in the 4 decades ago to utilizing soya as a filler. In soya protein concentrates, soya protein isolates are highly in demand, and the people who go to the gym, you will see that the trainer always advocate that you must use the soya protein for building the muscles. Number of products are already available in the market. You can see here also already have been displayed at the dais here. These are available nowadays in the supermarkets. You see the other products for meat alternatives in the Western countries where they generally consume, they are the non-vegetarian people. But in the Indian scenario where the people who are mostly vegetarian, even they consume the non-vegetarian, but still the predominance is of the, so that is the cheapest available source in the form of the texturized soya protein, nuggets, burgers, so many products are here already available in the market. Dairy alternatives are also for soya milk, soya yogurt, we can prepare, soya cheese is in demand, and other utilization in the ice creams and all that. In the confectionery and baked products, we are also preparing at our institute, we are having one ABI center and train the entrepreneurs how to process all these different kind of products. Friends, with all this, there are certain challenges also. And we must remember that soya is considered as one of the big 8 major food allergens. So these are the certain facts which we have to keep in the mind. Even with such a high and good quality protein, certain anti-nutritional factors are there, like the presence of trypsin inhibitor, its beany flavor due to the presence of lipoxygenase. So in all these aspects, actually, we are doing the research, and our objective is to make the variety which are free from these allergens and trypsin inhibitor. Another concern, because the soybean, when introduced in India, the major impetus was the de-oiled cake export. You see here, even I make a comparison between 23, 24 and 24, 25 export. So in 23, 24, we were having 1100 million US dollar export value, which has come down to 900 only. Coming to the another parts of the research and development, what we actually did. Sir, I would like to draw your attention, chief guest of today's function. Many times we are critically analyze this fact that when we started from the 1970s, at that time the productivity was very low. Even today, for the last 20 years, the productivity has remained stagnated. What were the reasons? Why the productivity is so low in comparison to the 27 quintal world average? Our productivity lies only at the 11 quintals. In the initial years, there were certain problems. We have a lot of problem of the pod shattering that was eliminated with the introduction of the new genotypes. The problems of the rust was very big in those days. So we identified certain photo-insensitive and rust-resistant germplasm and then introduced the rust resistance and also one component for the long juvenility that give a long life cycle to the crop. The development of lodging resistant was our achievement in those days, but some of the major achievements have been the development of short duration varieties. In India, generally we go for the 90 days maturing varieties. Because in our cropping system, where the farmer have the facility for irrigating, he takes 3 crops in 1 year. You will see in the United States, they are taking only 1 crop in 1 year. This year they will grow soybean, another year they will grow maize. But here the farmer, they take the soybean and after that potato and after that wheat. So 300% cropping intensity and that only in 90 days maturing variety fits well. So I feel that this was the most significant contribution from the Indian research, that this crop was well suited for that kind of cropping system which prevails in Indian conditions. Uh, Standards of package of practices, even we identified our native micros which fix the nitrogen. You see in the earlier days, even the rhizobium was being introduced from the United States. But we developed our own consortia and that is now available for the farmers and we are marketing that not only from our institute but also with the support of public and private partnership. Mechanization also, this is again a very big challenge because contrary to the United States, Brazil or Argentina, our farmers have very small holding size, hardly 1 hectare, even the less than 1 hectare, and in that case, reaping with the combine harvester is not possible. So having the machinery which is customized to the Indian farmers' conditions, that is one big challenge. And in that condition also we have our institute at Bhopal, CIAE. So we are developing some of the machinery which can be customized to Indian scenario. Uh, Frontline demonstrations have shown that we have a potential in our varieties up to 2 tons per hectare, but still there is a gap of more than 50% in some of the states. So that is to be filled up. Just you can see here over the decade basis, we have released a number of varieties. We have now 183 varieties. And so during the last 5 years, starting from 2024, we have developed 57 varieties which are suitable for the different climatic conditions. The big challenge is still have the biotic stresses. I would just like to mention that because the farmers are growing continuously for the last 4 decades, the same crop in the same fields. So that has resulted into the build-up of the inoculum. So many diseases, 4 diseases are highly predominant in this crop. Crop is very good up to the reproductive phase and just after flowering, number of diseases appears and just kind of epidemic is there and then we find in some of the areas that if farmers are not able to harvest the real potential of those varieties. You see here the one of the analysis which we made here. Before 1970 we had a productivity only 426 kilogram per hectare. Area at that time was 30,000 hectares. From 1970 to 1990, which we call as a cycle 1, when we introduced some of the varieties from United States with support of Illinois University. These varieties were Bragg and Lee, Pelican and Hardy. And due to those introductions, 1.7 times increase in yield was noticed. And the yield during these 2 decades was almost 700 kilogram. So it was a 1.7 time increase. In the another cycle too, when we have the hybridization program and the actual breeding actually started from 1990 to 2015. So at that period also, due to the result of new varieties, as a result of recombination breeding, the productivity raised up to 1061 kilogram. This is the average of all 25 years. Here the per annum acreage was 7.1 million hectares. In the next 20 years from 2050 and even up to 25, almost 10 years, yield has remained stagnated. But the interesting fact is that during this period, the acreage increased from 7 million to 12 million hectares per annum. And on that basis, even to sustaining the such kind of yield was a challenge. The crop expanded to many those areas which it was never grown, like to Maharashtra, Gujarat, Karnataka, and Rajasthan, with the same yield potential and so much inoculum built up in the soils. The yield could be sustained. I think this should also be taken as an achievement. Certainly, there are certain lacunae that our narrow genetic base is there, because when we started the hybridization program, so only few 4 to 5 varieties like this Bragg and GS335 were the direct parent in so many varieties. So that is also one of the reasons that why our varieties are susceptible to the number of diseases. You see the yield potential of recently released varieties. Here you can find this is based on our ACRIP data, where we have an average of 20 different locations. So varieties, almost all the varieties have a more than 20 quintals potential. Coming to the food grade varieties, actually when we are working product specific varieties, our targets are KTI free, LOX2 free, hilum color, because white hilum color is suitable for tofu development, a quality tofu development. So we are working on that. Protein content enhancement, even we want to increase from 40 to 45%, and some of the germplasm is already available. Oil content, at present we have 18 to 20%, but having 22% will certainly make a big change in the total oil production. Seed size, if you look the present variety, they have hardly 10 to 1200 gram seed weight. But when we go for the vegetable type of seed, which are being used for the edamame, the seed size is more than 25 gram or 30 gram. So in that line also we are working, and we have developed in few varieties for that purpose also. So if you see that developing such variety which are product specific, that will certainly enhance the quality of the product, and that will finally translate into the consumer preference. These are the few varieties which our institute has developed during last 5 years. You see the NRC 188 is suitable for vegetable type. In the mornings, I was discussing that there is a high demand now. A lot of import is being done from the different countries for vegetable types. And these are number of varieties which are free from the trypsin inhibitor. Even one variety, NRC 147, for high oleic acid content, having more than 40% oleic acid, so that again enhance the quality of the oil. These are the different characteristics of these specialty soybean varieties. And these varieties are also, if you look, are comparable in yield with the other non-food grade varieties. So they can easily be part of some contract research program with the farmers or FPOs, that you grow them and then buy back these varieties to develop some specific products. In the certain variety, for example, GS335, a very popular variety which has ruled the Indian soybean farming, due to its small seed, it was found suitable for the NATO production. Edamame variety, we have developed 3 varieties, Karune, Swarnavasundhara, and NRC 188. Food grade varieties, NRC 1474, high oleic acid content, NRC 142, double low variety. And for soya milk and tofu also, some of the lines are now in the germplasm, which we are developing to release them as the variety with clear hilum. If you see the sustainability of this, the soya market, it is projected that by 2030, the protein market will be 14.44 billion US dollars. So in that market, how much share we can take, that will be certainly be a challenge. And with the support of all industry and other policy makers, I believe that we would be able to create the awareness and to enhance the use of soya as a food. That will not only to the industry, but also to the farmers in increasing their income. A certain strengths, this is a short analysis regarding the soybean products. So because we are growing all our non-GMO, And that certainly give an edge in the export to the European countries and also to the Gulf countries. Similarly, India's strategic geographical location also make us very suitable for the export. Our weaknesses are that low productivity is certainly a challenge and that we take as a challenge, and we are hopeful that by 2030 we must reach up to the 17 quintal per hectare. That is our target under the national mission on edible oils also. Opportunity potential for expanding into higher value added produce, which we already have spoken, isolates, functional foods. There's a lot of market is developing even in the domestic market also. Lot of demand is coming up, so these are the opportunities which can be harnessed. And threats are, we have lack of infrastructure for value-added products and trade barriers. The present scenario, if you see, so many barriers are in the different kind of tariffs. So with this, I conclude my presentation that certainly soybean is really a remarkable crop. Not only, this is the crop you see that where none of the other crop can sustain, soybean can sustain. That's why it has been in the large scale expansion. And then its nutritional value, having the oil, having the protein, complete protein, and so many lecithin, saponin, isoflavones, industrial usage, number of products can be prepared, but it needs value addition, it needs processing. Thank you very much.